President Trump says he'll start bombing Iran's energy plants if they don't reopen the Strait of Hormuz by tomorrow. As ABC's Karen Travers reports, the clock is ticking to make a deal.
President Trump is giving Iran until 8 p.m. Tuesday night to make a deal.
The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night.
If not, the U.S. will dramatically escalate its attacks and for 4 hours, he says, target Iran's civilian infrastructure.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Iran saying they would reciprocate any such attack. Some say the U.S. targeting this infrastructure could be viewed as a potential war crime.
You know the war crime? War crime is allowing Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
Analysts say the rules of engagement vary.
Got to consider whether this is dual-use infrastructure. So if it's purely for civilians, then it's off limits. If it's being used for military purposes, then depends on the legal review, it can be struck.
Earlier, Iran and the U.S. received a draft proposal from mediators from Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey, calling for a 45-day ceasefire and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz to try and find a way to end the war. Iran rejected the proposal and issued its own 10-point plan. U.S. officials described the counter-proposals as not constructive to negotiations. The president came to the briefing room to tout the daring rescue of those American airmen shot down Thursday over Iran.
In the United States military, we leave no American behind.
Asked if Iran must make a deal by his Tuesday deadline or open the Strait of Hormuz or both, the president said Iran must make a deal that's acceptable to him and it must include the free traffic of oil. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Well, with shipping restricted in the Strait of Hormuz, the price of crude oil is up and so is gas. According to AAA, Texans are paying $3.82 a gallon right now, 20 cents more than last week. President Trump insists those prices will come down quickly as soon as Iran agrees to a ceasefire deal and reopens the shipping lane.
I can tell you that we have an active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that.
Amazon, UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service have all added fuel surcharges to offset those extra costs. And economists say a lot of the food delivery apps are likely to follow suit if gas prices remain high.
Someone in the truck?
1300 block.
Gas station.
This afternoon, we're learning new details about a massive tanker fire in Fort Worth. It happened early Sunday morning on Trinity Boulevard near 360, where a car crashed into a semi hauling thousands of gallons of gas. Paramedics rushed the truck driver to a hospital nearby, and several crews spent hours trying to get the fire under control. Brittany Costello just learned more about the response and has new reaction.
Looking at the damage is traumatizing for Eddie Johnson.
I thought the whole block was gonna blow up.
It was around 1 Sunday morning when he heard an explosion.
There was a boom.
A tanker carrying 9,000 gallons of fuel was in flames at the Valero gas station next to Johnson's home on Trinity Boulevard in Fort Worth.
I was thinking attack on America. I really was.
It was not an attack. Fort Worth police say a driver ran a red light and crashed into the 18-wheeler. The company on the truck, Rangers Transport, sent us this picture from a camera on the big rig showing the driver approaching a green light. They say a car T-boned it, causing the explosion Johnson heard.
I called as many people as I could, tell them I love them.
Neighbor video shows crews battling the flames. It took several hours and firefighting foam to get it out. Johnson says just in time.
I feel still scared right now, still shook up.
The Fort Worth Fire Department says the truck driver acted fast to keep spilled fuel from reaching down power lines, but was badly burned. Tabitha Early lives down the street.
We just hope that whoever was in the truck survived.
The company's owner says the driver is out of the ICU and stable, but has a long road ahead. Fort Worth Fire says the second vehicle and its driver stayed on scene after the crash. They were not injured and did not require transport. Fort Worth police say they talked to the driver and issued citations. There was a communication barrier, and ultimately police let them go. But they say the crash is being investigated. And more than a day later, it's finally getting cleaned up and cleared out.
Life is short. It's not promised tomorrow.
Neighbors are thankful.
It could have been a lot worse.
In Fort Worth, I'm Brittany Costello.
A mother is accused of killing her disabled son and fleeing the country, but psychiatrists say she's incompetent to stand trial. Investigators believe Cindy Rodriguez-Singh killed her son Noel in 2023 when he was 6 years old. Just before Everman police could arrest her, Rodriguez-Singh got on a flight to India with her husband and 6 other children, and Noel's body has never been found. Singh was arrested in India and returned to the U.S. last summer, and our partners at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram just uncovered a psychiatric evaluation report. While it concludes that Singh is incompetent to stand trial, her diagnosis is unclear. The report was just filed last week, and a judge will hold a hearing next Tuesday. In the meantime, Singh will likely be treated at a maximum security unit at a state hospital. A criminal case is moving forward against the men accused of kidnapping and robbing rapper Gucci Mane. Lontrell Williams Jr. is better known as rapper Pooh Shiesty. He's due in court Wednesday in Dallas. He's one of 9 people accused of robbing and kidnapping fellow rapper Gucci Mane. Prosecutors claim Williams and his crew confronted Gucci Mane at a recording studio in Dallas, demanding he release Williams from his recording contract. This afternoon, we're getting a look at what the city of Dallas has been up to since taking over Fair Park operations last year. Luke Clary spent the day with some of the council members, and here's a quick look at what he's covering tonight in our latest Long Story Shorts.
You are looking at the Texas Woofus, and take a look at this. For the first time in a long time, the fountain is running. City officials will say that's a pretty big deal because it's an example of the work that's being done to improve Fair Park. They pointed to fountains like this one running again. There's new HVAC systems at some of the buildings. There's new landscaping, irrigation. So the grass is even greener than you might remember. This was all covered in a city council meeting with Dallas Park and Recreation Director John Jenkins. I caught up with him today, and he acknowledged what a long and winding road this has been for Fair Park.
Yeah, Fair Park used to be run under a private management contract, and that leadership change came after heavy scrutiny over its upkeep or the lack thereof. The city accused that group of misusing funds. Luke, I have a lot more coming up tonight at 6. You can also watch the full story on our social media accounts or our free streaming app, WFAA+. The evening rush is getting underway right now. Stacia Wilson shows us what to look out for on the road.
Yeah, right now, look out for Grand Prairie. This is what's going on along I-30 in the westbound side right there at 7th Street. Camera we're looking at it from, it happened right there at Carrier. But you can see that big stretch of red on your map, that backup extending almost all the way to MacArthur Boulevard. So just 2 lanes are getting by, and barely at that. Slow moving there. Now we're heading down south. Another problem along I-20. I-20 westbound at Bonneview. You can see traffic is also really building in this area. This time, again, affecting the westbound side of the interstate. Now, just to the east of that location, we still have this problem where the ramp along southbound 310 is currently blocked. They have less first responders now. Hopefully, they'll be getting that ramp open to I-45. But if you're traveling 310 southbound, taking that ramp, you cannot access 45 right now. And then also one more to let you know about. We're traveling over to Denton County, I-35E northbound at Corinth Parkway. Only 2 lanes are open.
Hello, Artemis II. This is Apollo astronaut Jim Lovell. Welcome to my old neighborhood.
Well, the crew of Artemis II has now traveled 250,000 miles from Earth, farther than any human beings in history. They also received that special message from the late Jim Lovell, one of the astronauts on Apollo 8 and Apollo 13. The Orion spacecraft has entered the moon's sphere of influence, collecting geological observations of 30 lunar targets. As ABC's Rena Roy reports, they broke the old record around 1 p.m.
It's the journey to the moon captivating the country. The Orion space capsule making a historic lunar flyby this afternoon, first setting a record for the farthest distance traveled by humans in space.
We will continue our journey even further into space before Mother Earth succeeds in pulling us back,
surpassing the mark set by the Apollo 13 crew in 1970.
Today, for all humanity, you're pushing beyond that frontier.
The 4 astronauts taking turns observing the moon, including craters and previous moon landing sites, and then the far side of the moon. These new images showing the moon and Earth from their vantage point.
This is when they're going to show why human eyes can do things that the vehicles that have mapped the whole moon previously can't really see.
The crew posting these photos from space, writing morning routine, wake up, shave, make the bed, witness something that's never before been seen by human eyes. ABC News speaking with the astronauts last week about their excitement to be part of history.
What do you want to tell Americans here at home who are watching this right now?
First and foremost, I would just like to say thank you. Your support and trust in us has enabled this, and so many people that have worked for so long to make this possible. But also, we're just getting started.
Now, the crew will also get a look at Rainier Gamma, a mysterious formation scientists are still trying to understand, and they'll get to see other planets in our solar system, including Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Saturn. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.